Now we're going to talk about the standard workflow that you'll do on a normal basis. Most of the things you just did today are not things you need to do every single day. You do not need to re-authenticate all the time. It's a one-time deal unless it expires. You do not need to set up your email and your username multiple times. You do not need to make another account multiple times. These are all one-time deals usually. But I do want to show on a daily basis what you might be doing 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 times. Something that you want to get so used to that it feels second nature. You don't have to worry about it. And that is the idea of adding, committing, and pushing. I'm going to use an analogy here to see if it makes sense to you. Let's imagine that I have a bunch of friends and we've won the lottery, and I'm going to take a bunch of friends to a nice vacation. We're all going to go to Tahiti. And to do that, I'm going to say, let's all meet at the airport. And so I'm going to invite my however many friends that I have. So I'm going to invite my 5 closest friends and say, we're going to Tahiti. And so I add those friends to the airport list and they show up at the airport. I've added them to the airport. They are ready to go. But maybe I decide that I can't afford it. Maybe my lottery ticket was a lot smaller than I expected. Lots of people won the lottery that day. It wasn't just all my money. So I'm going to have to unfortunately remove someone. And that is a way to take one out. So adding says, bring them in. These are loading them up and say, I'm loading up. These are the files. These are the people that I want to take on my trip. You are allowed to take them off for whatever reason, although it'd be really mean in this situation. So that is the adding part. You're just saying, these are the people or these are the files I would like to save. But you haven't fully committed anything yet because we haven't taken off from the airport or closed the doors or anything like that. And maybe I haven't even purchased the tickets yet. So then we get to the second start. So after adding all the files or adding all the people you want to take onto your trip, you now decide, I'm committing. This is the group of people who are going with me. And so you make a commit, and you make a commit with a message that says like what you're doing. So maybe I commit and I say, included my 4 closest friends, and we're on the plane now. When I think about committing, I kind of think of it as a visualization of my friends and I have gone through the door and we're on the airplane and they've closed the door and we're not getting off at this point. So you've saved it. That is a save file. It's ready to go. And there's other airport lanes on the strips. They've all different saves that could also be loaded up and see what's in them. It's not a great analogy, but it works somewhat. And so I have got to save. And the final part is to then take off. The saves are all local. That airport, that one airport has many different saves on it. But I can then make the plane take off and go land in Tahiti in a remote location completely across the world for me. And they are now saved on their own location in a GitHub location. So adding is bringing your friends into the airport. Committing is locking them together on the airplane and saying, we're done. That's it. We paid for our tickets. And then pushing is flying off and making it land in a different location. That's your standard workflow. So what I'd like you to do is either pause here or try it on your own. I'd like you to reload this file to edit it again and make off the fact that you've now done a commit and you've done those 2 things, put X's on them and get used to it. And then try it on your own. And then when you do it one more time, put an X on here. You want to get used to this so that it's just automatic. So you just go boom, boom, boom. I'm going to add, commit, and push in that order each time. So try it on your own. Finish the video with me now. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and open my file again, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Mac version of this, which is, let's see here, open-E. I don't use the open command very much. I do not have that memorized. I do have commands on get memorized. All right. I'm going to say I have modified this file here and this file here. I've done those 2 steps. I'm going to save and close my program. My status should now be there is a change. So I'm going to add those changes. I'm loading my friends into the airport. And then I'm going to commit. That's the one I want. That's what it is. And I'm going to say, let's see, there's a message specifically in here if you want to follow it directly. We're going to say checked off additional finished tasks. Now you're going to notice that I actually use the single quote here instead of the double quote. It's fine. Both work. If you want to use a double quote or single quote, as long as they both end and start the same when you're typing in. All right. That is a save on my local computer only. We now have the airport loaded on our airport. It has not taken off. This is the final part would be to get push. Notice no other things, just get push and it automatically goes up online. And when I refresh my page, it should now see 2 more X's. Finish that one more time to get that final X. But its standard format is modify files, which you'll be doing in some better coding environment, probably than TextEdit or Notepad or anything like that. You're probably using something like VS Code or IntelliJ or another situation like that that lets you write lots of really cool code with much more functionality than just a TextEdit. But modify it up, get this to be your final X, and you have finished.